Wow, that's a whole lot of headrests. Welcome to the Mazda CX-9. It's a 7-seat SUV, as you may know, because you've probably seen CX-9s on the streets now for quite a few years. But this is the new one, and it's quite a bit different from the old one. They've made it lighter, shorter, lower, wider, and they've taken a bunch of the engine away. Mazda's gone away from the old V6 that used to power the old CX-9. It was a 3-litre V6, and a pretty thirsty one at that. And they've gone now on this new one to a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Yes, it's down a bit on peak power. The old V6 used to put out 204 kilowatts of peak power, and this new turbocharged 4 puts out 170 kilowatts. But more importantly, this new Turbo 4 is up on peak torque. The old V6 used to put out 376 newton meters of torque. This thing puts out 420 newton meters, and it's at a very accessible 2000 RPM. This engine returns 8.8 litres per 100k, which is a good 2.5 litres per 100k better than the old V6. So more economical, more drivable, lighter, and faster too, funny enough. The 0 to 100k is ripped off in 8.6 seconds, and that's a good 1.5 seconds faster than the V6. And it's cheaper than the previous model. $62,995 for the limited edition one, which we're driving, which has the sunroof and the leather and the 20-inch wheels and all the other bells and whistles that Mazda can possibly jam in it. So what's it like to drive? Well, you do notice that it's a 4-cylinder engine as opposed to a creamy 6. But the only time you really notice that is when you're getting underway. You do hear a kind of a slightly more laboured, little less authoritative sound coming from the front of the car than you might expect in a larger displacement 6-cylinder engine. But once the car's up and running and you've got that 1900 kgs on the move, the engine settles back to be a very unobtrusive partner. We're out on the open road here on our typical New Zealand rough chip roads, and there's a bit of tyre roar, but it's stuff all, and you could really live with it. So the car's very tranquil to be inside. The gearbox is a 6-speed automatic, and I wondered to start with if 6 was enough, but 6 is absolutely enough in this car, because it's not the sort of car that you want to go thrashing around in, frankly. There's no flappy paddles that encourage you to quickly dance up and down the gearbox. Yes, you can take manual control through the shift lever here, but even that, it all seems a bit too much hard work, frankly. It has a sport function that you can access for this little toggle switch down here, but really, I haven't even bothered with sport because I don't think it's going to deliver anything more than the regular slush box is going to do for me in drive mode, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And you're not going to buy this car to do some back road corner carving, because it's just too big, it's just too heavy, it's just too high off the ground. But what it is designed to do is take a family of 5 or 6 or 7 on a great drive, and it can do that really, really well. It's an all-wheel drive, well, it's an on-demand all-wheel drive system that the CX-9 has, and they say it's predictive of all-wheel drive requirements. So it's got about 20-odd sensors spread around the car that are doing about 200 calculations per second and seeing if the conditions are right for the front wheels to start slipping, in which case it'll dial up delivery of torque to the rear wheels, and it can take, I think, 50% of the torque and put it to the back wheels. So should you and your precious cargo be in circumstances where grip is becoming marginal, the predictive all-wheel drive system will sense that and give you more drive to wheels with more grip. But the car actually doesn't feel like a barge to drive. It's actually quite light on its feet, I've found. It's very comfortable, very relaxed, very sure-footed. It actually corners pretty flatly. I'm only just one up, as you can see, but I know when multiple people have been on board that even then the car behaves itself very well on tighter and twistier roads. I haven't really gone punting it hard around any tight corners because that's never going to happen in its daily life, and I got a feeling that even if it does, it's just going to slowly understeer off the cliff. So I'm not going to do that. But for what its purpose is, which is carting a whole bunch of people and their gear around, it does a really nice job. And it's just got a quiet ambience that allows everybody just to relax, find their own space and chill out. The only thing I did notice that was a little bit surprising is that there's no luggage cover over the cargo space. And it's the first time I've had a car where I've had to be conscious about kind of where I park it with my camera kit inside, because it's all quite visible out the back there. I've jumped in the back of the car, right in the very back, in the last two seats, and yeah, it's quite good. I was surprised there's enough headroom for me, there's enough leg room for me. The only thing that's really compromised is foot room, I suppose you'd say, underneath the back of the second row of seats. But those second row seats slide forward, so the whole vehicle is very well arranged for passenger comfort. I should test it with a whole bunch of other people on board. So how about we get a bunch of teenagers that are just about to go out on the town for the night, and they've had a couple of drinks, so they'll be a fairly lippy bunch. Let's see what they make of the accommodations inside the CX-9.
Back seat this way, can we? Let's figure this out. How do we open the seat?
Yeah, I got this, bro.
This one. No, it's this one. Bro, there isn't even seats at the back. Oh, no, we have to open the boot.
You're like this, fam. Look, I'll tell you.
You broke it out. No.
Kia ora whānau. Kia ora tātou.
Hello, YouTube. When you have a receding hairline, you can't do that anymore, Blue. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
Thanks, Blue.
Alright
Thanks
guys.
for the ride.
Yeah, you're welcome guys.
Oh,
I'm never going to be an Uber driver, that's for sure. Part of the specification you enjoy with the limited edition that we're driving is this eye active sense looking after you software. And it's things like blind spot alert, smart city brake, which will brake you if you don't brake yourself before you hit the car in front. Radar cruise control, of course, which we're reasonably familiar with now. It also comes with lane departure warning and lane departure assist, so if you do start to wander outside of a pre-marked lane, you will get a little tremble on the handlebars here to wake you up. The interior is really actually very restrained and uncluttered. It's almost like, yes, it includes a lot of technology, but we're not going to show it to you. It's just going to work seamlessly in the background, and I really like that. You just want the car to go out and do stuff, particularly an SUV, which is going to be driven largely by people who might have some kids on board that are causing, you know, mayhem in the back, and you don't want to be distracted by a whole bunch of other clutter up front here. And this car is a really nice, restful place to be. Quite why anybody would want to take 6 other people with them in a car is beyond me, frankly. But if needs must, and you do have to carry 6 people around, then the Mazda CX-9 is probably one of the better ways to do it, because the car looks nice, it doesn't look like a bus, it doesn't look like an airport shuttle. It's got a nice clean decor inside, which is very restrained and actually quite European feeling, I'm finding. And although the engine is feeling a little bit taxed and makes a little bit more noise than you might want from a $62,995 vehicle, it certainly delivers the real world performance that Mazda was chasing. I think the Mazda CX-9 is going to be a great success for Mazda.